Thank you, JSS International School. Up next, the Philippine Global School from Abu Dhabi, followed by Oxford School, Dubai. Please welcome Philippine Global School up on stage. Thank you.
My stomach aches like it never does before. I can feel the pain that controls more than affects my every sound judgment from the back of my spine. My head aches and grumbles for sustenance to live.
My skin, it is dry. My face is unrecognizable. It wrinkles and withers by the second. Find me food, quench my thirst. Water, food,
I need food. I need food and nourishment.
How can my hunger be more powerful than my will? Give me food, give me.
Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Now, introduce that man to a vision to sustain and enhance human life with food, fiber, fuels, and raw materials, and you not only feed him for a lifetime, but for generations to come as well. This is the picture we want to paint. Panel of judges, distinguished guests, and fellow advocates for the environment, good afternoon to all of you. What if we lived in a UAE where what used to be empty, barren heaps of sand are now replaced with immeasurable stretches of green? Imagine that we have successfully incorporated technology into the concept of sustainable agriculture, and wherever we look, there is life to be found. Imagine knowing that you and I can wake up every morning knowing we live in a UAE that succeeds in sustainability, and the nutrition and food security of this region is impeccable and uncontested. This is the UAE I see in my future. We may be known for our constantly impressive modern achievements and urban development, but there is always a pressing importance on the issue of agriculture. Agriculture is to our lives as air is to our lungs. It is not a matter that we can choose not to care about when our hunger and nutrition is determined by this. The UAE is striving towards a specific goal that the United Nations set to be achieved by 2030, and this is the Zero Hunger Goal. It claims that ending hunger and all forms of malnutrition will be accomplished by doubling agricultural productivity, and here are ways that the UAE is helping to achieve that. One example is the Zirai program. This is a program that the Khalifa Fund for Enterprise Development launched in 2013 to promote agricultural growth in our region and to improve the efficiency of farms here with state-of-the-art technology like hydroponic systems, which is a modern and efficient farming method that requires less water than usual. Now this is a big deal because with the dry desert climate here in the UAE, we simply cannot afford to spend over 400 liters of water every single day and then sweep it into the ground after each harvest. But with hydroponics, instead of that traditional 400 liters, the Emirates hydroponics farm requires just a little over 20 liters of water, and on top of that, 80 to 90% of that water can be reused. Plants mature up to 25% faster and can produce 30% more than that same plant could if it were grown in soil. All of this is possible with the careful control of nutrient solution and pH levels. This, on top of many others of the UAE's initiatives, is just the tip of the iceberg. So where do we come in? The government is taking serious action to ensure that the UAE is heading down a feasible path wherein agriculture and sustainability is a real and feasible future for it. But can we say the same for ourselves? How often do we take our food for granted? How often do we actually sit down and think about the agricultural situation in our country? What responsibility do we have as children, young citizens, and students of the UAE? Now, we all know that our education system holds us to a pedestal that as 21st century learners, we must be globally and environmentally competitive. Sustainable education is also heavily integrated into our curriculums, promoting eco-literacy and environmental skills to students at such a young age as it is implemented by the Environment Agency in Abu Dhabi. Another breakthrough example is the biodome that was awarded by the Environment Agency in Abu Dhabi to the Philippine Global School, and it can be found in our campus. It contains various types of flora and fauna of the UAE, and a regulated atmosphere with light, air, and moisture to aid the growth of the plants and the environment of the animals. This biodome is not just a biodome, it is a symbol and a reminder of our responsibility as students over life other than our own. In addition to this, our school has received the first prize for the Sustainability Initiative competition for 2 consecutive years. This biodome holds up a reputation that one can do feasible agriculture in the kind of dry, hot geographic location that the UAE is situated upon. And now we have it. The biodome from the labor and sweats of our diligent fellow students. It is now our time to prove that each and every one of you can build a collaborative team in shaping a sustainable future through agriculture. The Green UAE IC, we can achieve it. We have started it. It is here. More schools could be a part of this. We could be a part of this because the UAE IC has an environment that is thriving with sustainable life, but it needs its people to take action if we are going to make it the UAE that we want to live in. The UAE IC is green, it is abundant, and most importantly, within arm's reach. And so, dear members of the audience, I leave you with these questions.
What can you do to make it better?
What can you do to ensure that the UAE will be the UAE you live in 20 years' time?
I compel you to think about it because the future we have in agriculture can only be created by you and I. Agriculture is innovation for sustainability. Agriculture is for a better life, for humanity. It is pro-technological advancement. It changes for perpetual development of our land. The UAE becoming globally competitive, globally comparative, and globally excellent. Therefore, I urge each and every one of you in this room to act on your vision for our future because
We are the future.